See, isn't it beautiful? It's really just such a wonderful example of this early empire textiles. It's just absolutely exquisite. The stitching and the beadwork on there and the... What? Oh, you didn't come to... Oh. Okay, what can I do for you? You need a love note written. Great. Okay, here, why don't you take this parchment and write down some of the traits about this person that you're trying to woo, and I'll get that love note written to you by the end of the day. Okay, yeah, you just, go over there and you can just leave it on the table. Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, thank you. Mm-hmm. Oh well. Oh, look who it is. You know, I wasn't entirely sure that I would be seeing you today, but you've proven my suspicions wrong. How did it go last night at the Masquerade? All right, well, as long as you ended up with the item in question, that's all that really matters, isn't it? You did end up with the item in question, right? Well, thank you. Thank you very, very much. I'm quite excited to see if what she thought this was is actually what it is. I do have my doubts, like I said, but you never know. Sometimes life can surprise you. She was right. Do you know what this is? Well, yes, it's an egg. Let me put this down. This is a very special egg. It's a dragon egg. But you see, some dragon eggs are actually not all that rare. There are some types of dragons that are, not particularly common, but are not altogether rare either. But she said that she had a very, very rare egg in her possession. And I honestly wasn't sure if I should believe her or not, but this is it. Without a doubt, this is the egg of a golden dragon. Do you know anything about different kinds of dragons? Okay, well, different dragons all have different sizes, different abilities, different levels of power and strength. And the golden dragon, it's not the biggest of the dragons. It's not the strongest of the dragons either. But the golden dragon is said to have the ability to tell the future. That's right. That's right. Now, there hasn't been a golden dragon anywhere on this entire continent in hundreds of years. I thought they were all extinct, really, when the last golden dragon was killed. But this proves me wrong. Sometimes it's wonderful to be wrong. I can't believe it. You see, there's a rumor that when a golden dragon hatches, it brings with it a time of change, usually for the better. It's a symbol of luck in many different cultures around the world as well. Now, the tricky thing about dragon eggs is that you never really know when it's going to hatch. It could stay in egg form for hundreds or even thousands of years until it feels good and ready to come out. So, this could hatch 100 years from now, or 1,000 years from now, or it could hatch tomorrow. There's really no way of knowing, at least not that we know. Presumably, a mother dragon knows when her egg is going to hatch, but no one knows how she knows that. Perhaps it's just mother's intuition. This may never hatch in my lifetime. But knowing that it even just exists is quite special. Even if it doesn't hatch, it still just symbolizes a hope that someday things will change. It's very difficult to fully kill hope. It's one of the strongest things in the world. What a beautiful item. Didn't think you were carrying something so rare, did you? Well, I suppose I should be thanking you. Thank you for making this possible. See, I couldn't go to the Masquerade because, well, one, I'm not a noble, but also I'm a gnome, and not everybody likes gnomes. Let's just leave it at that. So there's no way that I could have made this particular handoff, and as you know, the other noble that I had lined up was unable to go at the last minute. But you pulled it off. Interesting. All right, well, a deal's a deal. I said that if you could meet my contact and make that trade for me, that I would tell you more about this strange magical item that you seem so interested in. Is that still what you would like? Of course, of course. This magical item, it was found in the ruins of the town that used to be close to the city of Beyweth now. But it didn't seem like it was actually part of the ruins. You know, there's a certain level of degeneration that you expect on items that you dig up during an archaeological dig, if they are in fact very old. This item seemed old, but not like ruins old. Maybe just a few hundred years instead of a few thousand years. And that in and of itself is quite perplexing. Who buried this strange item in the middle of these ruins hundreds of years ago? But it was also buried very, very, very deeply, which is also a bit puzzling, especially if it was just one person acting alone. But what really is peculiar is the almost like an aura that this item is giving off. Oh, what is it? I guess I should say what the item is. It's this little dish, I guess. It's a little round wooden bowl. It has a little lid on it. That doesn't really do it justice because it's painted very beautifully. It's this ornate sort of floral pattern on it, and it's green and it's gold and all this very richly colored, lovely, lovely craftsmanship of this little bowl. And then you take off the little lid and, can put something small inside of it. I have no idea what you would put inside of it, but that's the idea of it. Now, strange thing number one is that it's not as old as anything else that we found. Strange thing number two is that the bowl and the lid were buried together. Like sometimes when you're doing a dig, you find certain items, but you don't find all the pieces or something like that. But this one, they were still intact. Strange thing number three is how deeply it was buried. And strange thing number four, probably the strangest, is the aura about this item. It's a very specifically magical aura, but even the most powerful magical user that I personally know, she doesn't know what this item is. It almost is confusing in a way. Not just that it's an unknown, but to her it seems wrong, almost. Like it shouldn't be there and it shouldn't even exist. She has almost somewhat of an aversion to this item for some reason. And yet at the same time, it feels vaguely familiar to her. Maybe. I don't know. She kept rambling on, and I didn't quite understand all of what was going on. You see, I'm not a magic user myself, per se. I just, study from the sidelines. But she was quite perplexed by this strange little box that we found on one of our digs. Now, it was a very, very powerful aura around this thing, so I knew that it would not be safe for me to bring it back here to the kingdom of Maladia, especially into this particular city. So I left the item with her. She seemed, very pleased to be able to study it more. But as far as I have heard, she still is no closer to finding out what the item actually is. Unfortunately. Perhaps someday we will uncover the secrets of this item, but as of now, there are many, many questions and not a whole lot of answers. Did that pique any of your curiosity? Oh, it did. Okay, well, there you go. That's what I know, at least, about this particular item. It's also strange, the painting style, the craftsmanship of it. It doesn't seem to fit with any of the sort of artistic styles that we've seen thus far. Usually a culture, when it develops, it has certain styles, certain things that you look for in artifacts, and this seems completely displaced. Again, I really don't know why, or how it got there, or who put it there, or why they put it there, or anything really. I just know that it's a strange aura about this item, and it shouldn't be there. By all logic, it shouldn't be there, and yet it was. You wanna see the item? Well, I don't have it. I just said it's not here. You want to travel to Beyweth? No offense, but have you ever traveled to the wilds before? Okay, well, see, there's a reason why they call it the wilds. It's quite difficult terrain to traverse. It's desert for quite a lot of it. The blaring sun and the intense heat and the wind and the sand and all manner of dangerous creatures and plants and things like that, not to mention the bandits that can come up and, surprise you from beyond the dunes. And then part of it is also a very strange and perplexing wilderness. Terribly hot days and terribly cold nights. It's not a journey that one should take lightly. Let's just say that. Well, yes, I have traversed this region quite a few times with different expeditions and things over the years, but it's really not for everyone. Oh, you think that you would like to accompany me on an expedition? Why? Just to see this item? Go all the way, leave your homeland, just to go look at a little magic box? Really? That's that important to you, huh? Are you some sort of a magical scholar or something? I mean, I know obviously magic is rather frowned upon in Ifendel, but I think by now you probably have come to understand that I don't particularly agree with all of the different rules of Ifendel, so... Interesting. Okay. Well, it's a long journey. It's going to be a difficult journey. And the thing is, I can't just bring you along and not have you actually doing something for me on the expedition. I don't have the funding to just bring about extra people for no good reason. But, you know, if we happen to find a task for you to do on the journey, or once we get there, I suppose I could swing that. What are you good at, per se? What do you think on a journey like this that you may offer to a group? Oh, you have some prowess in fighting. Actually, I could use another bodyguard in the group. See, I had a few that they're no longer with us. Oh, that sounded bad. That came out wrong. They're not dead. They just have chosen to do other things and not go on the expeditions with us anymore. They are very much alive. I apologize. It's not that dangerous usually. Now, there's also, once we get to a particular city, I will also be hiring a guide, a local person to help us traverse some of the way to Beyweth, because there are some parts that are exceedingly treacherous, and it's good to have someone who knows what they're doing, even more than me. I mean, I've made the journey a few times, but that does not make me an expert in things. But especially until we get to that town, I guess it would be nice to have an extra weapon around, protect us from bandits and the like. All right, you're hired. Now, we will need to properly outfit you, yes, before we go. Yes, this whole thing that you have going on, this certainly won't do. Oh, well, no, it's fine clothing. It's very nice. But where we are going, it is very hot and very sunny, and you need the proper protection and the proper type of clothing. I certainly will not be wearing this coat. This is just my sort of, professor's coat while I'm here. But generally speaking, you want clothing that is light-colored and lightweight. Something that will protect you from the sun and the wind, but not be too cumbersome to make you so overly hot. Actually, I think I have something that would fit you. Hold on just a moment. Let me get, here we go. Do you mind if I just take some measurements quickly? Just to assess what sort of sizes I need for you. Okay, wonderful. I'm just going to take this. If you would just, stand straight, I mean not straight like a rod, but somewhat straight for me so I can get some accurate measurements, okay? Okay, thank you. I'm just going to get rather close here. Sort of the width of your shoulders. Okay, good. Now the length of your torso. Just nice and still there for me. Okay, and then down here. Okay, yes, and the waist. Okay. Would you mind holding out your arms for me? I'd like to get your arm span here. Okay. Way over to. Okay. Good. And then around your waist here, if you wouldn't mind. Thank you. Okay. Yes, I do believe that I have something that would fit you rather nicely. Hold on one moment. Let me see. Where is it? Not this one. Not this one. Ah, this right here. This should work rather nicely, I should think. Here we are. Here. Now, it's not a particularly light color, but it's still light enough that it will help to reflect the light instead of trap it in like a dark color would. As you can see, it's a very thin material, very lightweight woven material. I actually got this material in Beyweth. believe it or not. It's quite lovely. It actually has some little, designs, some stitching on the sides. Not that that's really important to the function of the item, but I think that this should work nicely. It's just sort of a drape here. Let's try it on here, shall we? There. How does that feel? Okay, good. And then you can just sort of tuck that into your belt. I mean, your cloak underneath is a bit bulky, obviously, because you won't be wearing that, but that should work nicely. The nice thing about drapes like this, too, is that if you need to, you can take one of the sides and wrap it around you a little bit as well. For things like a sandstorm or something like that. Okay. Yes, I think that would work rather nicely for you. Now, we'll also need some protection for your face, of course. Hold on one moment. Let's see. Fairly certain that I have another one over here. Ah, here we are. First up, you're going to need a good hat. Yes, certainly. You're going to want a nice brim like this to help keep the sun off of your face and the back of your neck. Mm-hmm. A helmet? Oh, no. You won't want to be wearing a helmet, especially if it's made of metal. That's just going to heat up and not be very conducive to keeping you cool. No, a hat like this is much more what you would like. Yes. See, this is the one that I wear. You can't have this one, but you could use this one if you would like. Yeah. See, it's lightweight. It's actually quite a breathable material, but sturdy. It'll hold its shape. Will keep you nice and shaded as we travel. Of course, this is probably not enough in and of itself. Here, we'll set this aside for you. But you're probably also going to want some sort of eye protection as well. Yeah. Goggles? Oh, well, goggles are okay, but most pairs of goggles can be a little bit heavy, actually, and are not very conducive to being worn for long periods of time. Mostly they're made, for protection from temporary things as opposed to hours a day. I actually have a very special pair of glasses that I had designed specifically for, travel in the wilds. Here we go. These glasses, as you can see, they are quite reflective on that side. And then on the back side here, they are quite tinted so that they will shield your eyes from the sun. Not just directly from the sun, but also when the sun hits the sand, it reflects up into your face. So these will keep you safe. But they're also quite lightweight, and they don't actually touch your face anywhere except just right here on the bridge of your nose, so it won't, fog up. See, the thing is, it's very hot, and if you're wearing goggles and you're sweating, then the goggles will get all, fogged up. These won't, because they're not actually touching your face, which is quite nice. But they do have these little pieces here on the side, quite lightweight, but they just help to add a little bit more shading. So, with your hat and with these glasses, you should be quite safe. Although, it is also a good idea to have some kind of a covering for your mouth and nose as well. Yes, that can be good. Oh, you have a mask. Well, sure. I mean, not the mask that you wore at the Masquerade, I hope. Oh, okay, a different one. Okay. Well, sure. Let me see. Oh. Now this looks quite clever, doesn't it? What a fascinating design. Lightweight leather, but quite sturdy. Especially with all of these rivets on it here. And it's got these two little ventilators. Is that what those are? So that you can breathe clean air without being affected by
things like sand and dirt and dust. Quite nice. Yeah, this should do nicely. As long as you don't think that it would be too hot on your face to have the leather. Okay, well, you can, yeah, let me give that back to you. You can certainly use that if you would like. But I do also have another suggestion, maybe on top of that, just in case for that extra level of protection, especially if it starts to get very, very windy. Here, generally, I suggest that people bring with them a scarf. Now, not a warm scarf like you would wear in the winter. This is a very, very lightweight scarf. So you can see it's actually a little bit transparent, so it's not going to do much to keep you warm. But it will help to just add a little bit of extra protection to your neck and to, the bottom of your face too. See, this is a circle scarf. Here, let me demonstrate. So you can put this on like this, and you can wrap it up like this. You should put your scarf on before you put your hat on. So you can just kind of wear it like this, and it will help to protect your neck. But then you can also pull it up if you need to cover your face like this. And you could even, take it off and wrap it mostly around your head and then put your hat on top of it too. So, quite versatile. Also, when we get to an oasis or a well or, a town that has water, you can just dip this fabric in the water and then put it back on, and it's actually quite cooling. Yes, it's a rather nice cooling effect as we go. But it also dries rather quickly, so it won't hold, if you're sweating, it won't hold it. It's quite nice. So I have this style of scarf that you could wear. Or I do have another one. This one is not a circle scarf. It's a very, very large square. You can see it's, again, very thin, lightweight material. Very versatile. You can fold it like a triangle and wear it around your neck, or wear it as a bandana, or, use it to cover your face, cover your head. Whatever you would like, but it's still that very thin woven material that will help to keep you safe without making you particularly hot. This one can also function as almost sort of a lightweight blanket. That's how big it is. It's actually called a blanket scarf, so, aptly named. Aptly named. So, which one would you think? Would you like the larger blanket scarf or the rounded circle scarf? Okay, sure. Yeah, absolutely. You go ahead. You can keep that too. Okay, here. Just put the other one over here. Okay, let's see. We've got your eyes covered. You've already got a mask, which is wonderful. We've got a nice scarf for you. We've got a nice shawl that will help to keep you covered. Oh, let me get you. Here. This is a special concoction that I had specially made for traveling in the desert. This is a salve, or almost an oil, sort of, that you just put a little bit in your hand and you rub it on your skin. And it serves as sort of a barrier to the sun, so it can stop you from getting burnt. It also can work as a bit of a soothing ointment as well if you do end up getting burned. Quite useful, especially where we're going. As you can see, my complexion is not necessarily made for the desert, so I need to take extra precaution. So I will put this on and then have glasses and then have a mask and then have the hat and then have the scarf. It's a whole thing, but it keeps me safe, so if you'd like, you may have this bottle of my sun protection oil as well. Good, 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 good. Why don't you go ahead and take that too? Oh, well, it is customary sometimes to travel at night in the desert, because then obviously you're not putting up with the heat from the sun. However, traveling at night has its own dangers, especially in regions that have a lot of bandits and people like that. It can be quite dangerous. Sometimes traveling at night is worse than traveling during the day. So there are some parts of our journey where we will be traveling during the day, and some parts where we may transition and start traveling at night too. It just sort of depends on how dangerous a region. Also, there are many, many creatures in the desert. You don't always see them, especially during the day, because many of them know how to hide or know how to burrow into the sand. But when the sun goes down and it gets quite cool, then all of those creatures come out. And some of them can be quite dangerous. So, for the most part, we know which areas are good to travel at what time. So we'll be traveling and we'll be, making camp and we'll have a guard set up and all that kind of thing. You're okay with taking guard duty, right? Taking a shift. Good, good. I would think as a bodyguard that would be right up your alley as a fighter. Good, 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 good. Well, I think that is probably all that you will need. Oh, do you have? I'm assuming as a traveler that you have, water skins or something like that. Okay, good, good, good. We do try to bring just as many, canteens and things like that as we can with the water. Now, most of the time when we're traveling, we'll be close enough to, different cities and things that we won't have to go all that long without stopping somewhere that would have water. But you never know. You can be hit with a very large sandstorm and have to stop, for an evening or stop for a few hours and then, get somewhere later. So it's a good idea to just have as much water as you can. Here, in fact, why don't... I have an extra canteen here. Might as well bring this one too, right? So you may bring the water skins or whatever it is that you normally carry water in. But I will give you this extra one as well. It's a rather simple design, but it's, as you can see, somewhat narrow, so you can strap it to your person and it's not incredibly bulky. Quite good. Quite good. So, anything else that you think that you might need before we get going on our expedition? Okay, well, I mean, we're not leaving right this moment. We are planning to leave at dawn in 3 days' time, all right? So if you would like to, go around Eifendel for a little bit, or whatever it is that you have to do, if you would like to get some extra provisions, things like that, that would all be a good idea. But you meet me at the western gate to the city at dawn in 3 days' time. And then we will head off, traveling south, down first through the city of Asgregard, which is still, in our kingdom here, and then to the border, and then on to the land of the wilds. Should be quite exciting, don't you think? Well, I think that you are at least going to be outfitted nicely for our expedition, and hopefully it turns out to be everything that you need it to be. And everything that I need it to be too. Alright, well, you take care of your affairs, whatever it is that you need to do. And I will see you in 3 days' time. Bye for now.